I am almost certain I cannot answer that.
Okay.
But I will say,
not much, dude. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm sweaty, but I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm in New York right now, and it has been scorching hot the past 2 days. It has been stupid hot.
Well, I feel bad for complaining because today was like 72, and I'm like
72. I feel like I didn't check it like in a couple of days. I feel like it was close to 90 maybe today or yesterday. Bro. It's been like, wow. I was like at a picnic thing, like this filmmakers picnic, and I didn't realize that where we were in this park was just right under the sun, just underneath, dude. And I was meeting all these new filmmakers, like, hey, I'm Camrus. It's terrible.
You traded one extreme in Vancouver for another extreme.
You know what I'm saying? Going from cold but you know what? I'll be in the sun any day. I'd rather be hot than cold any day. Elegance, Braden's here. Oh, what's up, Elegance? Good to see you, fam.
Oh, thank God you're looking at this. So I'll be honest, I'm very bad at looking at the comments when I do these things. But for people watching, if you have questions, please drop them in here about tonight's episode, and we'll try to get to them in these sort of 10 to 15 minutes that we have. Dude, these past two episodes have been big ones for you, dude.
Right. Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, how did sort of Caroline and the writers sort of pitch these two episodes to you, and when did you find out all this sort of heavy stuff was coming your way?
Well, it's funny because I knew that I was going to, I mean, no spoilers for those that haven't seen the last episode / tonight's episode, but I knew that I was going to get shot at some point in the season a long time ago. And the reason for that is because with our new Batwoman, I was told that we had to sort of introduce her all over again. You know, like we had to sort of do what we did last season where we have a new character, a new hero, and give them that story. So I was going to be, you know, supporting that story for quite some time. But at some point she said that somebody was going to shoot me. Like, what? What does that mean? But what's funny is that I thought I was going to get shot like in the leg or something. Like I was going to, oh no. And then in the last episode when I got shot like 2 or 3 times in like the stomach, I was like, am I going to die? Like, what's going on? So when I read this episode, I was really surprised to see the ending. I mean, I loved how they did it. The fact that Luke didn't want to be alive was, I think, in my opinion, some of the best writing that we've ever done on the show. Because it's like so dark and unexpected, and it's just so sad. And the fact that it proves that the Bat team needs one another, because if it weren't for, you know, Ryan and Mary, he wouldn't be around anymore.
And so another thing, I'm curious, I guess, like, so did you understand sort of Luke's point of view then? Like, when Bruce sort of laid it out to him, you were like, oh yeah, this makes sense that Luke would make this decision?
Yeah, I mean, it was really sad, but he was saying that I am helping save the city. I'm saving people's lives. I'm working with Batman and 2 different Batwomen, and I still got shot for no reason. I got shot because of the way that I look, not because of anything that I did. And he was actually trying to help. He was trying to be a good guy and save the day, and he still got shot because of that reason. So the fact that he was saying, why live in a world where it's dark and everyone's against, not everyone, but, you know, so much of the world is against me just because of my skin color, when I could go to this beautiful place where my dad is, like my favorite person in the world who's no longer here. So although it was a really sad and unexpected decision, I get where he's coming from. But to those watching, I felt like this is really important to say in this interview, because I know some people watch the episode and now are here. I want to remind, especially our young viewers, that there is always someone that loves you. So when you come into that crossroads where you're saying, why I don't want to be here anymore, I want to go to the next whatever to get away from all the dark things around us, please don't. Please talk to someone. Please call someone. You never know who's going to miss you, who's going to be heartbroken, who needs you, who loves you. Even when it seems like no one does, someone does. Anyway.
No, I'm glad about that. That was what I was going to ask you about. Because again, like, I remember I was watching that, because I realized, so I feel like in the moment, at least it didn't immediately hit me how dark Luke's decision was, and it's like, oh no, like that's like not like a thing you can easily sort of gloss over, you know?
No, it's dark, man. And again, I was so proud of our writers for going there, because that is not something you'd expect to see, I think, in a CW show where we hear a character openly say, I want to die now. I'm going to die now. This is my decision. And I was like, what? When I read the script, I was like, are we actually going to do that on TV? And I was so happy that we could. because again, like this is a very real reaction. Like that scene made sense. It didn't feel forced. It felt very natural. And it was very impressive how they did the thing where he was going to leave and he got saved at the last minute. I thought that was just beautiful.
And for you, I mean, again, this is like you have. I feel like I'm assuming that like all those sort of purgatory scenes were shot in one day, but like those are like that must have been like a very heavy day for you acting wise. I mean, how do you sort of go about sort of preparing for something like that?
Right. I mean, it's funny because I've had so many crying scenes over the years that there's so many different methods to achieve it. So in the past, I would use my grandpa passing to sort of get me there. And now it's usually situational. Now what I just do is I dive into the scene, I dive into the character's mind and where they are. And if a character needs to cry, there's got to be a really strong reason for that. And in this scene, I didn't really need to add anything because he quite literally got shot. He quite literally is seeing his dad that he hasn't seen in so many years. And all he wants to do is see him, but he can't. He can't see his dad. And that alone is so sad. I just had to really sit in that. And my dad is still alive, so I just had to put someone on, I won't say who it is, but I had to put someone in that body and imagine wanting to talk to this person for the last time but not being able to. And that's really hard. Like I think a lot of us have someone in our lives that we have unspoken words with, or did have someone that we have unspoken words with. And the fact that imagining seeing them, but they won't turn around, and you have to make a decision, a really hard decision just to speak to them, is just so heart-wrenching. The hard thing about this scene was trying to figure out how to shoot it, right? Because like you said, it's pretty much one long scene. So at first we were shooting them all in a row, but that would mess up the flow because we finish the scene and then just action, and you can just continue, and it like throws you out of it, you know? So that's at first what we were doing, and then we just decided to do certain sections that weren't as emotionally heavy, and then we did the last sections like on their own, so we could sort of just play with that.
Someone in the comments also mentioned, going back to what you said about sort of the mental health, one of the things about this episode was how sort of it's not important because it's also important. I think it's Matt Ward said, like, especially a black character, our mental health is sort of never is really taken seriously. That's another thing that can't be sort of, because again, it's easy to forget, like, this episode, like, the last few episode was, or the episode before this, a few weeks ago, was about sort of Luke, Sophie, and Ryan getting caught up, getting arrested for being black, for just for being together and being black. And then this was a very sort of, this came after that, kind of, him getting shot, again, for just trying to do the right thing as a black man.
Right. Because to that point, we never really get to talk about how black people feel after that moment, right? Like we always get to see the episodes where the white cop kills shoots the black person, and in that episode we talk about how wrong it is and blah 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 blah. But we never get to really talk about the mental health of the black people afterwards. And seeing Ryan like basically blame herself and saying I should have been there, and seeing Luke say I don't want to be in this world anymore, like seeing how it deeply affects and hurts the black community every single time this happens. The fact that we got to talk about that and show that and really like shed a light on that in this episode was very, very beautiful. And I think a very powerful message that we were able to achieve. So I'm very glad to do that. And I'm seeing a lot of I loves you in here, like Jasmine.v here. I love y'all too. Thanks for being here.
Did you, I mean, again, this was, you just said that you guys piled sort of the emotional stuff for the end of the day shooting.
Right.
I mean, after you wrapped, like after, like, I guess, did you have a hard time sort of shaking this off, I guess?
Not really, because what happens when you do so many takes of crying, it just wears you out. It just like, I just want to go to sleep now. We've all had that, those really big cries where you're like, wow, I am exhausted. So the hardest thing for me really is when it turns on, it's hard to turn off. So at least in the beginning. So like on my first or second take where I'm like, I'm still working through it. I don't want to give the full waterworks quite yet. I'm still in that mindset though of like, I'm so sad, my heart's so broken, I want to die in this scene, that it's sometimes hard for me to like I'll say like someone talk to me, like get my mind out of this, like, or like I gotta walk away and talk about something else. I gotta do something, because if I keep thinking about what's going on, I'm just gonna be sitting here crying and the camera would not be rolling, So that's the hardest thing. But thankfully, I think I always get nervous. I think most actors get nervous before a crying scene because you're like, what if it doesn't happen? What if it's too much? What if it's not enough? And I always feel very happy when I get that routine of, the second take, the third take, I nailed it. But when they say, like, want to give it a fourth try and try something different, I'm like, can I? Or am I out of tears? But I think that's actually where the beauty comes in, where you're not trying to cry, you're not trying to force it. Now you're just doing it and it's just coming. And those are usually the takes that they use.
And I mean, for you, I mean, I think, again, so he wakes up at the end. He does not look happy that he woke up. How does this sort of experience in purgatory sort of affect him moving forward this season?
I mean, I think that we'll see even more of it next season for sure. But I think this season, especially in the next episode, Luke did not expect to wake up, obviously. So I think that, I don't want to give any spoilers for next week, but he basically makes some decisions that he would not have made pre-shooting. Because that's what happens. Like, your personality has to change somewhat. And there's like little things that I wanted to add, like that most people won't really tell. Like, I wanted to sort of show in little ways that he's not fully together. Like, he's not fully here. But Luke is so put together, Luke Fox, that he always wants to present himself like everything's fine. So next episode, he definitely will not be fine, and you'll be able to tell quickly. But the rest of the season,
will he not be wearing a suit?
Maybe not. Maybe. But every episode after that for this season, I think he'll feel pretty much the same because he's so good at hiding it. But I think next season he'll start to unravel quite a bit.
I mean, I think one thing too, I mean, Tavaroff being the one who shot him is especially sort of important because of, in the comics, Tavaroff is one of Luke Fox's enemies. Is this, is this the last we see of Tavaroff? Do they have another face-off coming? Or
this is definitely not the last we see of Tavaroff. I love this twist on the character because I always expected that if he came into the show, it would be something similar to the comics where we're sort of the same age, like old friends, not reuniting, but interacting with one another and things not going so well. And the fact that they brought him into this Crow story, made him older, just made him a random sort of villain is very cool. So this is definitely not the last we see of Tavaroff and Luke Fox, baby. But yeah, I'm stoked to see next week. It gets pretty interesting for my character and his.
This question, I'm not sure if you're allowed to ask this or answer this. Someone asked, will we see a scene between you and Diggle?
Me and Diggle. I am almost certain I cannot answer that. But I will say David Ramsey does appear in an episode of Batwoman, and I love him to death. I think he's amazing. I met him last year on the set of Arrow when I went to go visit, and he brought me and my dad, who came to visit, to his trailer. We had lunch together, and he showed me a cut of the episode that he directed. I love David Ramsey. Yeah, dude, I love him to death.
That time loop episode is fantastic.
Dude, the one where it's like you see like everything blowing up in a hallway. That, oh my God, that's what he showed me. He showed me a cut of that, and I was like, who are you, bro? Like, this is awesome. Yeah, I love David Ramsey, and you're going to love him in the show as well.
Oh, someone said the promo showed Diggle and Luke talking. I haven't seen the promo, so.
Oh, there's promos? Well, I haven't seen them, so I can confirm and deny nothing.
I haven't seen them either, because I was getting ready to come on here.
If we did have a scene together, it was awesome, and I loved working with him. But if we didn't, then it never, I wish, hey. Next question.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no. Okay, they're saying we saw the promo. Okay, so you've seen it. Okay, yeah. So since you've seen it, I do have a scene with him, and it's awesome. I loved working with him. We have a couple of scenes together, and I kind of hope that it leads to maybe him coming back because we sort of build like a bond in a way, which I loved. And I just, oh, man, he's like a big brother. Like, I loved him. So, yeah, y'all are going to love those scenes.
And I think, I mean, the other thing, I think one thing I was before I ask you something else non-Batwoman related, I mean,
right.
I will say one of the things I struggled with this show in the first season with was the presence of the Crows. Like, from day one, I was like, this private security firm is just like, it's the last thing we need in this.
Right.
And so when I say that I cheered when Jacob was like, when he shut down the Crows, it would be an understatement. Right. I'm curious for you, how do you think sort of losing the Crow sort of affects the show, especially in these last run of episodes for the season?
Yeah, I like to also say that I also cheered when I read it in the script. It was like, finally, get rid of him, you know? It's interesting because I'm excited to see who the new police force is going to be. I mean, we still have the GCPD, so in my opinion, I think that they're going to start rising quite a bit more. in our show. But I was also really glad that the Crows were gone, because it's just bad cops times 20, and we don't need them. What I did love from the Crows this season is that it gave us so many opportunities to talk about police brutality. Like ACAB, all crows are bastards, or whatever we said. Like, it was awesome, and it tied right in so well. So yeah, I loved that aspect of being able to shine light on very real events in the real world. But yeah, man, I'm glad they're getting the heck out of here.
No, yeah, I remember Caroline said one of the best things about introducing Ryan this season was that in season 1 she wanted to critique the Crows, but just like she didn't have a good perspective on it, because Kate, that's her father, and having Ryan come in, that was an easy in to then doing all the
easy in. Especially like that rooftop scene early in the season where we both were talking about why neither of us wanted to work with the Crows, why neither of us likes the Crows. So the fact that we have that new character that can really talk about, like, I never liked them, I do not trust them, I do not want to work with them from the beginning, like from episode 1, was very, very dope. So it all sort of led up to this episode of them falling apart. Of the last episode when Megan's character, Sophie, says that she doesn't want to be in the Crows anymore. It all really led up to like this crumbling from the inside.
And now, on top of being on Batwoman, you keep a very busy sort of artistic life.
I do.
Your second animated short is premiering at Tribeca Film Festival in a few weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
First, what is this short about?
So I have an animated short film. Thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that. I'm working on my second animated short film. It's called She Dreams at Sunrise. So in real life, I was my great aunt's caretaker for a few years, and I've always wanted to tell that story. So this is my first time writing something at least inspired by that story. And it is about an elderly woman who is sort of stuck in her mundane reality, and she escapes into her dreams. She escapes from her mundane reality through her dreams. And it's about her great nephew who is helping her connect to the joy that she's really been missing. So it's sort of like this love story of this family, the two of them, and trying to find her joy, like the center of her joy that she can't find anymore. It was a lot of fun, man. We had like 10 weeks to make it. We had 15 animators, a 23-piece orchestra, an incredible Black composer. Like, I am so proud of it.
How hard was it to you? Because I feel like, you only just wrapped the season, 2 weeks ago, right? How were you finding the time to sort of work on this and show up to set every day?
A lot of my work would happen on set. Like, in between takes, I go sit down and I, be sending emails, I'd be in meetings. I don't know. Doing a lot of projects at one time, it kind of keeps me sane. It keeps me happy. So I have the short film. I have another short film that's in festivals right now. You know about my first short film, Grab My Hand. I'm adapting a book into a movie, and I have 2 DC comic books coming out this month. So keeping myself busy is just, I don't know, it's always made me really happy, and I love my show. But sorry, go ahead.
Wait, sorry, so I don't cut you, but you I knew of the one where you wrote one Luke Fox story wait, what's the second one then?
I don't know if I can announce it yet because it hasn't been announced quite yet.
But okay.
It's a nonfiction DC comic, and it's already had a fairly long running now. And I'll be the last issue of this run. I've already given too much information, but it's a short comic. It's nonfiction. And we're pretty much finished with it. I think we have one more round of lettering for the comic, and that'll come out. I think the plan was to come out at the end of the month, but I'm not quite sure now because it took us a minute to assemble the team. But I'm stoked for you to see that one too. Yeah, and then the Batwing comic is coming out on Tuesday, I think. 2 days.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to reading it, dude. Freaking I feel like you're just the new Renaissance man here. You're working on this Batwoman show. You're making these animated shorts that are getting to prestigious film festivals, and now have this comic book coming out. Apparently, and now, as you said, you're adapting a book into a movie.
I am, and I also have an animated series in development too. I'm keeping myself busy.
Awesome, dude. I think I promised people that I'd have you out of here in 15 minutes, and it's been 20
right.
And also, you're in New York now, so it's 10:25. And if I was in Europe, I'd be I'm ready to go to bed right now.
Oh, no, I'm chilling. I'll be up for 4 more hours. But I appreciate the extra time. Thanks for talking to me, man. It's always so freaking good to talk to you, Chad.
Dude, same. Same, dude.
Sorry, I didn't see a lot of the questions in here, y'all, but thanks for being here. I love all of y'all. And I'll ask the live tweet next episode.
I guess I'll ask you one final comment question.
Yeah, please. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Eric. What's up, y'all?
So someone asking, okay, here's one I just saw. Who was your favorite character on one of the other Arrowverse shows?
Who's my favorite character? I'd say I think Iris. I think one of the reasons I wanted to be in Batwoman. Hey, I think one of the main reasons I wanted to be in Batwoman was because I watched Candice Patton in The Flash and was like, whoa, you're really good. Like
She puts up numbers on the board every week.
Dog, she is so good. Like she is one of the best actors that I know. And the fact that I was like a fan of hers before the show, and now we're like brother and sister is.
And she's in your short.
Yeah, and she is a voice in my next animated short, She Dreams of Sunrise, premiering at Tribeca Film Festival. Yeah, man, I love her to death, and I it's hard for her character not to be one of my favorites because she is an incredible actress. So yeah, Iris West all day. Iris West Allen all day.
Awesome, man. Well, Camrus, thank you so much as always for hopping on. I feel like we'll probably talk again before the season is over. Because this is not the end of your journey. Big things are coming for you. So thank you so much, as always, for taking the time. Everyone else tuning in, remember, Batwoman airs Sundays at 9 p.m. on the CW. And the end of the season has a lot of big things happening. So
that's right.
Tune in, as always.
And thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Mwah. Thanks for being here, too.